It feels like every single day we're seeing some new AI breakthrough that would have sounded like pure science fiction just a year ago. I mean, the pace of development is just mind-blowing. But, and this is the big but, with every leap forward, we seem to be stumbling into brand new, really complex, and sometimes pretty dangerous territory.
And this, right here, this is the whole story, isn't it? This is the dilemma we're going to dig into. For every incredible, new creative tool that AI hands us, it feels like a brand new cyber threat just pops up. For every language barrier it completely shatters, a new legal or ethical wall gets built. So today we're going to be looking at both sides of that coin, the amazing promise and the very, very real peril.
All right, so let's start with the good stuff, the really powerful new tools that are putting some seriously advanced AI into all of our hands. And we'll kick it off with some big updates from Google.
I mean, who hasn't, right? You've got that almost perfect shot, but you're thinking, man, if only I could just get rid of that thing in the background, or I wish I could change the lighting. Well, Google is basically making that as easy as just typing out a sentence.
What's so wild about this is how it just opens up high-level photo editing to everyone. This new tool from Google, which, by the way, they apparently codenamed Nano Banana, which is amazing, it lets you just type what you want. Give my dog a top hat. Make the background look like we're on Mars. And the best part is, it keeps the subject, your dog, looking perfectly consistent. You can even go back and forth with it like a conversation to get it just right. And this is really important. It adds a watermark to the images, which is a crucial step so we can all tell what's real and what's AI.
But this isn't just about making cool pictures. That same AI power is being used to completely change how we connect with each other. As Google's CEO Sundar Pichai just announced, the Google Translate app is getting a huge upgrade. We're talking about something that could fundamentally change how we communicate across different languages.
And listen, this is way beyond just simple word-for-word translation. This new system is smart. It actually understands context, tone of voice, even the natural pauses in a conversation. It can pick out different voices in a noisy room and give you a real-time translated audio stream. This is the kind of tech that truly breaks down barriers for travelers, for businesses, for families, you name it.
Okay, but here's where we have to flip that coin over. Because all of that power also creates brand new vulnerabilities. The same kind of AI that builds these incredible tools can be twisted for some really nasty purposes, or it can just fail with truly devastating results.
So this is a game changer for cybersecurity, and I do not mean that in a good way. Security researchers just found something they're calling prompt lock. Now, instead of using old, pre-written malicious code, this ransomware actually uses an AI model already on the victim's computer to write brand new, unique malicious code for every single attack.
Okay, here's the really scary part. Think of traditional antivirus software like a security guard with a list of known bad guys. It knows who to look for. But because this AI writes a new disguise for the malware every single time, the guard has no one to look for. The threat is basically invisible. Now, for now, it's just a proof of concept, but it signals a massive new challenge, ransomware that can actually think for itself.
And you know, as bad as a digital threat is, the stakes get infinitely higher when these AI failures cross over from our screens into the physical world. And for that, we need to look at a recent landmark case involving Tesla's autopilot system.
Just take a second and look at that number. $242.5 million. That is the verdict a jury just slammed Tesla with for a single fatal crash that involved its autopilot feature. And believe me, this isn't just about the money. This is a huge statement about accountability in the age of AI.
And this part just shows you how confident, or maybe overconfident, the company was. Before this ever went to trial, Tesla was apparently offered a chance to settle the whole thing for $60 million. They said no. They rejected it, insisting they had zero fault in the crash. Well, the jury disagreed, big time, and the final verdict ended up being more than 4 times that settlement offer. A very costly gamble.
Now, what makes this case such a landmark is that it's the first verdict where autopilot was linked to the death of a third party, someone who wasn't even in the Tesla. The jury found Tesla was a third responsible for what happened, and that massive $200 million chunk for punitive damages, that is key. That's not just to cover losses. That is a specific punishment designed to send a crystal clear message that the jury felt the company's actions were reckless.
So with all these new dangers popping up, society is finally starting to push back. And the first real battleground, the place where we're trying to write the rules for AI, is the courtroom, specifically around this huge issue of copyright and how these massive AI models are built in the first place. A perfect example of this is the recent showdown between a group of authors and the AI company Anthropic. So here's how it went down. The authors sued, saying that Anthropic's AI was trained on huge libraries of their pirated books. The big turning point came when a federal judge basically said, look, whether using the data for training is legal is debatable, but downloading and storing millions of stolen books, that is clear copyright infringement. Facing a potentially massive penalty, Anthropic decided to settle.
And make no mistake, the people who won this case know exactly how big of a deal this is. The lawyer for the authors didn't mince words, calling it a historical case. That shows you how significant this moment really is. You could think of it as the first big domino to fall in what could be a long line of lawsuits against AI companies.
The ripple effects from this are going to be enormous. For years, a lot of these AI companies have been hiding behind what's called a fair use defense. It was kind of like their get-out-of-jail-free card. The basic idea was, hey, we can use all this copyrighted stuff for training because we're creating something totally new. Well, this settlement sends a really loud message that that argument is now on very, very shaky ground. It could completely change the economics of how future AI models are even built.
So, after looking at the incredible promise of creativity and the very real peril of catastrophe, where does all this leave us? We are standing at a really critical moment.
It really is the ultimate double-edged sword, isn't it? The exact same kind of AI that can give us seamless, real-time translation can be twisted into self-writing ransomware. The same systems that can edit our photos with a simple sentence can, when they're put in a car, fail to see an obstacle, with devastating results.
And that, right there, that is the central question we all have to answer. This technology is not slowing down. It is weaving itself into every single part of our lives. So the challenge for all of us, for developers, for regulators, for society as a whole, is to build the right guardrails and to make the right choices to navigate this new frontier safely. How do we harness all of this incredible power without getting burned?